Microwaves are quick, convenient, easy, and for many seniors, they've become the go-to tool in the kitchen. One press of a button, and dinner is ready. But here's something most people don't realize. Not all foods belong in the microwave. And for certain items, this simple habit could be quietly affecting your nutrition, your digestion, or even your safety. Some foods change in ways we can't see when exposed to microwave heat. They lose nutrients, their structure breaks down, or worse, they develop harmful compounds that weren't there before. For older adults whose digestion and immune systems tend to be more sensitive, these changes can have a bigger impact than they might have in younger years. On the flip side, there are foods that come alive when you bake them. The oven's gentle, even heat can unlock nutrients, enhance natural flavors, and improve digestibility, all without the sudden, harsh energy of a microwave. So in today's video, we're going to look at both sides. 5 common foods you should never microwave, no matter how convenient it seems. And then 5 wonderful foods you absolutely should bake, not only because they're delicious, but because they're better for your body that way. You might be surprised by what makes the list. Some of these items are in your weekly routine right now, but a few small swaps from microwave to oven could make a noticeable difference in how you feel. So grab a pen, settle in, and let's rethink the way we heat our food. Because when it comes to health, how you cook matters just as much as what you eat. 1. Hard-boiled eggs, a silent danger in your microwave. They seem harmless. In fact, they seem perfect, already cooked, full of protein, easy to store, and quick to reheat. But hard-boiled eggs and microwaves are a dangerous combination, and not for the reason you might expect. The issue isn't just about texture, though microwaving eggs can turn them rubbery and unpleasant. The real danger lies in what happens inside the egg when it's reheated in a microwave. Because even though the egg looks still and calm, heat builds up quickly beneath the surface. The steam gets trapped inside the dense white, and if there's nowhere for that pressure to escape, the egg can literally explode. We're not talking about a gentle pop. We're talking about a loud, hot, egg-splattering explosion, either in the microwave or in some cases after it's already on your plate. That sudden burst can cause burns, mess, and a whole lot of frustration. And if you're someone with slower reaction time or mobility issues, it's not just inconvenient, it's a serious safety hazard. Beyond the mess, there's another reason to avoid microwaving hard-boiled eggs: uneven heating. The microwave often warms the outside while leaving the center cool. That creates pockets where bacteria like Salmonella can survive, especially if the egg wasn't stored perfectly before reheating. For seniors who are more susceptible to foodborne illness, that's a risk not worth taking. So what should you do instead? If you want your egg warm, remove the shell and cut it into halves or slices. Then gently warm it in a pan with a splash of water, or cover it loosely and heat it very briefly in the microwave only if it's chopped, not whole. Better yet, enjoy it cold. Hard-boiled eggs taste great chilled, especially in salads or with a sprinkle of sea salt. Eggs are one of nature's best foods, but the microwave, not their friend. When it comes to hard-boiled eggs, it's safer and smarter to skip the zap. 2. Processed meats. Why microwaving them may be hurting your health. Hot dogs, bacon, sausages, deli ham. These processed meats are everywhere, easy to store, quick to heat, and often part of familiar comforting meals. But if you're reheating them in the microwave especially often, it's time to reconsider. Why? Because processed meats are already high in sodium, preservatives, and compounds called nitrates. When you microwave them, especially at high heat or for too long, those nitrates can react with amino acids in the meat and form something far more concerning: nitrosamines. These are chemical compounds that have been linked to an increased risk of cancer, particularly digestive cancers. And while your body can handle small exposures, for seniors who often eat smaller meals but more frequently, Microwaving these meats day after day can quietly increase that risk over time, especially since older adults tend to have slower digestion and weaker detox systems, meaning harmful compounds linger longer in the body. There's also the issue of uneven heating. Microwaves don't always heat processed meats uniformly, especially if they're fatty or contain fillings, like stuffed sausages. That uneven heat can leave parts undercooked while others are steaming hot. A perfect condition for bacterial survival and foodborne illness. And we haven't even touched on taste. Bacon can become chewy instead of crisp. Hot dogs may split and leak. Cold cuts turn rubbery. The microwave simply wasn't built for these kinds of foods, and your health wasn't built to handle their altered chemistry. What's better? If you're going to enjoy processed meat occasionally, bake or pan-fry it instead. Baking allows even, controlled heat that helps minimize nitrosamine formation. Even better, try alternatives like roasted turkey slices, lentil-based sausages, or grilled vegetables when you want something savory and satisfying. Processed meats don't need to be off the menu entirely, but how you heat them matters. For safety, flavor, and long-term health, keep them out of the microwave and opt for smarter, slower heat instead. 3. Leafy greens. When the microwave makes healthy turn risky. Spinach, kale, beet greens, they're some of the healthiest foods you can put on your plate. Rich in fiber, antioxidants, iron, and especially nitrates, these greens support heart health, circulation, and even brain function. But here's something many people don't know. When you microwave leafy greens, especially after they've already been cooked once, those natural nitrates can transform into compounds that aren't so friendly. Under the high, uneven heat of a microwave, nitrates may convert into nitrosamines, the same potentially harmful compounds found in over-microwaved processed meats. These are especially risky when the greens were cooked earlier, then cooled, stored, and reheated again. That reheating process creates the perfect environment for chemical changes that diminish the green's nutritional value and may even pose health risks over time. For older adults, this is more important than ever. As we age, our ability to detoxify compounds weakens, and our digestive system becomes more sensitive. So while younger people might not notice the effects of repeated microwave reheating, seniors may experience more discomfort or absorb more of the byproducts the body can't easily eliminate. There's also the texture to consider. Microwaved greens can turn limp, soggy, and bitter, a far cry from the vibrant, slightly crisp bite they offer when steamed or sautéed properly. So what's a better option? If you've pre-cooked greens, reheat them gently on the stovetop with a splash of water or olive oil, just enough to warm, not cook again. Or better yet, enjoy them cold in a salad or stirred into a warm grain bowl right before serving. You still get the benefits without exposing the nutrients to harsh reheating. And if you're baking a dish that contains leafy greens, like a casserole or veggie bake, that's fine. The key is even, slow heat, not a rapid microwave burst that changes what the food is made of. Leafy greens are powerful allies for your health. Let's treat them that way, by skipping the microwave and honoring the nutrients your body deserves. 4. Breast milk. Why microwaving it is dangerous, especially for babies and caregivers. If you're a grandparent helping care for a new baby, or even just storing breast milk for visiting little ones, it's natural to reach for the microwave. It feels quick, easy, and convenient. But when it comes to breast milk, the microwave is one place it absolutely doesn't belong. Here's why. Breast milk is not just food, it's medicine. It contains living enzymes, antibodies, and immune protective compounds that help babies fight infection, build strong gut health, and grow with resilience. But those delicate nutrients are also fragile. When exposed to high, uneven microwave heat, many of them break down or become completely inactive. That means the milk might still look fine, but the very components that make it valuable are gone. Even more concerning is the risk of hot spots. Microwaves heat unevenly. While the bottle may feel warm to the touch, the liquid inside can have hidden areas of high heat. A baby's mouth and throat are extremely sensitive, and just one of these hot spots can cause serious burns, even if the bottle was only warmed for a few seconds. And it's not just babies who are at risk. Older adults who may be caring for infants, especially with slower reaction times or vision limitations, are more vulnerable to accidents while handling overheated bottles. So what should you do instead? The safest way to warm breast milk is by placing the bottle or storage bag in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes. Gently swirl, never shake to distribute the heat. Always test the temperature on your wrist before feeding. If you're storing milk, label it clearly and avoid reheating more than once. And always talk with the child's parent about proper storage and handling. Microwaving may seem fast, but when it comes to breast milk, it's a shortcut that simply costs too much in nutrients, in safety, and in care. The slow, gentle approach protects what matters most. 5 potatoes. Why they're risky to microwave if stored wrong. Potatoes are one of the most comforting, familiar foods in the world. Versatile, affordable, and deeply satisfying. Whether mashed, baked, or roasted, they're a staple in many seniors' kitchens. But if you've ever microwaved a potato that's been sitting around a little too long, you may be taking a bigger risk than you realize. Here's the issue. How you store potatoes matters. When raw potatoes are stored in cool, dark, damp environments, like a basement or refrigerator, the starch inside begins to convert into sugar. This sugar, when exposed to high heat, like in a microwave, can lead to the formation of acrylamide, a potentially harmful chemical linked to increased cancer risk, especially when consumed over time. The risk goes up if the potato has already started sprouting or turning green. These are signs it's producing solanine, a natural toxin that forms to protect the potato from pests. Solanine isn't destroyed by microwave heat, and even small amounts can cause nausea, headaches, or digestive upset in sensitive individuals. Seniors with more delicate digestion and slower detox systems may be especially vulnerable. Microwaving also heats potatoes unevenly. That can leave dense, undercooked spots surrounded by super hot pockets, which doesn't just make for a poor texture, but can also allow bacteria to survive in certain cases. So how can you enjoy potatoes safely? First, store them in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place, never the fridge. Second, always check for soft spots, sprouts, or green skin and cut those away completely. And if you're reheating cooked potatoes, do it in the oven or on the stove, where the heat is more even and predictable. Baked potatoes are not only safer, they're also more flavorful and satisfying. Add a drizzle of olive oil, some fresh herbs, and you've got a senior-friendly superfood, just prepared the right way. Potatoes can nourish and comfort, but like many good things, they need the right handling. Skip the microwave and treat them with the same care you give the people you cook for. Now that you know which foods to keep out of the microwave, let's talk about the ones that truly shine in the oven. The ingredients that don't just survive baking, but thrive because of it. If you're looking for more flavor, better digestion, and deeper nourishment, these 5 foods are worth turning on the oven for. 6. Salmon. Why baking is better for your body and brain. Salmon is more than just a delicious dinner. It's one of the best foods you can eat for long-term health. Packed with omega-3 fatty acids, high-quality protein, and essential vitamins like B12 and D, it's a true superfood, especially for seniors who want to protect their heart, joints, and brain. But how you cook salmon can make a big difference in what your body actually receives. When you microwave salmon, the results are often uneven. Some parts become rubbery, while others stay cold. The fish can dry out quickly, losing both texture and taste. Worse, intense microwave heat may break down the fragile omega-3 fats, the very reason many people eat salmon in the first place. Baking, on the other hand, treats salmon with the care it deserves. By cooking salmon slowly and evenly in the oven, ideally at a moderate temperature around 350 degrees 175, you help preserve its moisture, flavor, and nutrients. The omega-3s remain intact. The protein stays tender, and the natural oils gently release, creating a melt-in-your-mouth texture that microwaves simply can't match. Even better, baking allows for healthy enhancements. You can add lemon slices, fresh herbs, olive oil, or garlic without worrying about splatter or sogginess. Everything infuses together in the oven, gently, harmoniously. And from a digestion standpoint, baked salmon is easier on the stomach than fried or overcooked fish. For seniors with acid reflux, dental concerns, or sensitive digestion, baked salmon offers rich nutrition in a form that's easy to absorb and gentle to chew. Want to make it even easier? Bake several portions at once and store them for quick meals throughout the week. Reheat gently in the oven or serve chilled over salad for a no-cook lunch. Microwaves may be fast, but when it comes to salmon, baking honors both the flavor and the benefits. It's not just a better method, it's a better experience. 7. Sweet potatoes. Why the oven brings out their best. Sweet potatoes are a true gift for seniors. Naturally sweet, rich in fiber, full of antioxidants, and gentle on digestion. They support heart health, blood sugar stability, and even eye health thanks to their high levels of beta-carotene, a powerful compound your body turns into vitamin A. But here's the secret. How you cook sweet potatoes changes how your body uses them. And when it comes to unlocking their full potential, baking is by far the best choice. When you bake a sweet potato, something magical happens. The slow, dry heat of the oven caramelizes the natural sugars inside, enhancing both flavor and nutrient absorption. The flesh becomes soft, sweet, and rich, almost dessert-like without adding a single gram of sugar. And because baking doesn't dilute the potato with water like boiling, the nutrients stay concentrated where they belong, in every bite. Microwaving, on the other hand, speeds up the cooking but sacrifices quality. The texture turns rubbery or mushy, the flavor stays flat. And uneven heating can create hot spots on the outside while leaving the center undercooked. For seniors, especially those managing blood sugar or digestive sensitivities, baked sweet potatoes offer a gentle source of long-lasting energy. Their natural fiber slows the release of glucose, helping avoid spikes and crashes. Plus, they're easy to chew and versatile. Serve them mashed, cubed, or simply halved and eaten straight from the skin with a bit of olive oil or cinnamon. Want to make the most of them? Bake several at once and store extras in the fridge. They reheat beautifully in the oven, or you can enjoy them cold in a salad or smoothie. Sweet potatoes baked right are warm, grounding, and deeply satisfying. A small act of nourishment that comforts both body and soul. The microwave may be faster, but it can't match the goodness the oven brings out. 8. Apples. Why baking turns them into a digestive delight. We've all heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And it's true, apples are packed with fiber, antioxidants, and natural compounds that support heart health, gut health, and even cognitive function. But as we age, raw apples aren't always the easiest to digest or chew. That's where baking comes in, transforming a crisp fruit into a warm, soothing remedy for the entire body. Baked apples are easier on the digestive system. The heat softens their structure, making the soluble fiber, especially pectin, gentler and more accessible to your gut. This fiber helps regulate bowel movements, feed healthy bacteria, and reduce cholesterol. For seniors dealing with constipation, sluggish digestion, or sensitive teeth, baked apples are a gentle, delicious solution. But the benefits go beyond digestion. When you bake apples, their natural sugars concentrate slightly, creating a comforting sweetness without any added sugar. The process also preserves most of the vitamins, especially if you bake them with the skin on. And then there's the emotional comfort. The smell of warm apples and cinnamon isn't just pleasant. It triggers memories, eases stress, and helps create an evening ritual that supports relaxation. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, which helps balance blood sugar, a few chopped nuts, or a dollop of plain yogurt, and you've got a snack or dessert that feels indulgent, but supports your health from the inside out. Unlike the microwave, which can leave apples soggy, unevenly heated, or flavorless, the oven slowly coaxes out their depth and richness. It respects the fruit and honors the benefits it brings. Baked apples are more than a warm treat. They're a wise choice for seniors seeking nourishment, comfort, and a simple joy at the end of the day. They nourish not only your body, but your memories and spirit too. 9. Cauliflower or broccoli. Why baking enhances their health power. Cauliflower and broccoli are two of the most powerful vegetables you can eat, especially as you age. They're packed with fiber, vitamin C, folate, and unique compounds like sulforaphane, which help protect against inflammation, support liver detox, and may even reduce cancer risk. But here's what many people don't realize. How you cook these vegetables dramatically affects how beneficial and how enjoyable they truly are. When you microwave cauliflower or broccoli, they often turn out limp, watery, and sulfur-smelling. The texture is mushy, the flavor is dull, and many of the heat-sensitive compounds may be lost, especially if they're overcooked. What's worse, that strong, sulfur-like odor? It's not just unpleasant, it's a sign those powerful antioxidants are breaking down too quickly. Baking, on the other hand, is a game changer. When you roast cauliflower or broccoli in the oven, the dry, even heat caramelizes their natural sugars, transforming them into slightly crispy, nutty, flavorful bites. That process not only improves taste and texture, but helps preserve more of the beneficial plant compounds that support healthy aging. You can toss them with a little olive oil, garlic, or turmeric to boost anti-inflammatory power, or sprinkle on lemon juice after baking to enhance nutrient absorption. Baking also gives you control. No sogginess, no smell, and no guesswork about whether they're overdone. For seniors, this means easier chewing, better digestion, and more enjoyment. And because the flavor is so satisfying, baked broccoli and cauliflower can actually become something you look forward to, not just something you should eat. Want to simplify it? Roast a full tray at once and store leftovers for soups, omelets, or side dishes all week. They reheat beautifully and still taste amazing. Microwaves may be quick, but baking helps broccoli and cauliflower reach their full potential for both your health and your taste buds. 10. Whole grain bread. Why baking your own is worth it. Bread is a staple, warm, familiar, and comforting. But not all bread is created equal, especially for seniors. Many store-bought loaves, even those labeled whole grain, are packed with preservatives, added sugars, and refined flours that spike blood sugar and leave you hungry again in no time. That's where baking your own whole grain bread becomes more than just a kitchen hobby. It becomes a health investment. When you bake bread at home, you control exactly what goes into it. That means real whole grains like oats, spelt, or whole wheat, grains that are rich in fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and slow-burning carbohydrates. These support stable energy, healthy digestion, and better blood sugar management, all essential for aging well. It also means no unnecessary additives, no gums, no artificial flavors, no enriched flour stripped of nutrients. Just clean ingredients your body recognizes. And here's the best part. Home-baked bread doesn't have to be complicated. There are dozens of simple recipes that require no kneading, no mixers, and no baking expertise. All you need is a bowl, a spoon, an oven, and a little patience. Baking also lets you personalize your loaf. Add flax seeds for omega-3s, sunflower seeds for crunch, or chopped nuts for protein. You can even reduce sodium or experiment with gentle sweeteners like mashed banana or applesauce for a softer crumb. From a digestive standpoint, fresh whole grain bread is easier on the stomach, especially when fermented slightly, as in sourdough or overnight doughs. And for seniors with dental concerns, warm homemade bread offers a soft, Satisfying chew you won't get from crusty mass-produced loaves. Microwaving bread? It turns chewy, dry, or rubbery in seconds. But baking your own? It fills your home with comfort, your body with nourishment, and your plate with something made just for you. It's not just about bread. It's about care, intention, and giving your body what it truly deserves. By now, you've seen how something as simple as the way you heat your food can make a real difference, not just in taste, but in how your body responds, recovers, and thrives. Microwaves aren't the enemy. They have their place, for speed, for convenience. But for certain foods, especially those rich in nutrients or sensitive to heat, they can do more harm than good. And as we age, every bite counts just a little more. Digestion slows, nutrient needs rise, and even small imbalances can ripple into how we sleep, think, and feel each day. Baking, on the other hand, invites a different kind of rhythm. It's slower, yes, but more respectful. It gives food the time and space to develop naturally. Flavors deepen, textures improve, and nutrients remain more intact. And for seniors, that gentler approach isn't just nice, it's often necessary. But here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul your entire kitchen routine. Just start with one change. Maybe it's roasting your broccoli instead of steaming it, or baking your sweet potatoes on Sunday to enjoy all week. These small shifts add up in energy, comfort, and peace of mind. Food is more than fuel. It's medicine. It's memory. It's something we share with the people we love. And how we prepare it is an act of self-care. If this video helped you see your kitchen in a new way, consider subscribing to NUTRIHUBBLISS. We're here to bring you practical tips and uplifting guidance to help you thrive, one small choice at a time. Because in the end, it's not just about cooking. It's about living better, longer, and with more joy in every bite.